exactly what we want. Question 3a. Thomas is playing with some sticks and he forms 3 diagrams in the pattern. These are shown below. Thomas continues forming diagrams following this pattern. Diagram n is formed with 52 sticks. Find the value of n. Now, some of you mixed up what n was in the question. So if I write down what we're typing, we write down un is equal to u1 plus n minus 1 times by the difference, which is d. And we're going to decide which we know. We know u1. u1 is equal to 4. The difference is equal to 3. And some of you struggled with this. If we start with diagram 1, there are 4 sticks. Diagram 2, there are 7 sticks. Diagram 3, there are 10 sticks. So we're adding 3 each time. And the question was requiring us to find out what n was. Some of you thought it wants us to find out what un is, but it's not. So this means we have to put 52 sticks as un. So 52 is equal to u1, which is 4, plus n, which we don't know, n minus 1 d. And d this time is 3. Right, you can algebraically solve this, absolutely, and you can solve this on the calculator. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the calculator. This time we click y equals. We're going to clear what is in the y equals here, and we're going to type in the following. 4 plus, now you can't write n in this format, so we're going to just write x, and that's the same thing. X minus 1. We are going to choose this minus 1 because it's to do with minusing a number, not a negative number, and then times by 3. Then we click enter. Now I want to see the table. So the table's above the graph button, so I need to press second, then the graph button, and you can see what's happening. We're going to scroll down the table and we want to find out, well, when does un, which is the answer, equal 52? So we're looking for when y1 equals 52. Now, a slightly annoying thing is when you start scrolling down the table, sometimes you can't scroll up very easily. So then sometimes you have to change the table settings, which I might show you another time. So we're going to scroll down, we're looking for when the blue number equals 52. It equals 52 when x is 17. So we're going to just say n is 17. Question 3b. Thomas forms a total of 24 diagrams. So you need to think, well, what does this mean in terms of the question? This means that n is equal to 24. Find the number of sticks used by Thomas for all 24 diagrams. Well, the word all means we need to find the sum of something. So we're going to find the sum of n diagrams. So our formula for this, and we could use our formula booklet, some of you picked the wrong formula, is n divided by 2 un plus ud. There's another formula you can use as well, but I'm going to choose this one. So we know what n is. We're happy with that. We should know what un is from above. And we need to work out what ud is. So this is where some of you went wrong because you assumed you knew what ud was. This is what the value of the 24th term is. So when n is 24, what is the number of sticks in the pattern? So like normal, we have to do u1 plus n minus 1 times by d. What we're going to say is that we've got the first term of the sequence. The first term is 4. There's 4 sticks. Plus n minus 1, well, n is 24 in this case, so 23 lots of 3. We solve this equation. We are going to get 69 plus 4, which is 73. So we're saying that in the last pattern number, we get 73 sticks. But now we need to find the sum of all of them altogether. So what we're going to say is the sum of 24 is equal to 24 divided by 2. Now we're using this equation above. And then in brackets, we're going to write down the first term and the last term. And actually this should be U1, not UN. The first term, like we said before, is 4. And the last term is 73. So we can then solve this equation quite easily. So it's 12 times 77, I believe. Let's just double check the mark scheme and see if this is correct. So moving the calculator out the way, we're going to go to 3b. You can see that's correct. 24 over 2, brackets 4 times 73. And it says you get 1 mark for substitution into the formula of an arithmetic. I'm checking the wrong question, sorry. There we go. 1 mark for substitution into the sum of the first n terms. So if you write down an equation which looks vaguely like one of these equations, you get 1 mark. And you get a second mark if you write down the correct substitution. So already, by this point, where I'm going to highlight it pink, I would have got 2 marks out of 3. And then I just need to type it in the calculator correctly, and it'll give me 924 sticks. Right, we're going to go on to 4A, and this was quite badly answered, to be honest. Passengers on a flyaway airline can purchase tickets for either business class or economy class. Well, you need to read it, but actually it's not that important for now, so I'm going to cross it off. On one particular flight, there were 154 passengers, so that's a key number. Let X be the number of business class passengers and Y be the number of economy passengers. So all it wants you to do for this question is combine all 3 bits of pink information. And most of you tried to get there, but didn't quite finish the question. So it's just X plus Y equals 154. Now don't include any other extra bit of information, that is your answer. So this little bit, it's only 1 mark, and it's for some people quite difficult. So some people struggled with this. And for 4b, all you needed to write down was 320x plus 8y equals 14970. And the reason why is we're going to say the following. On this flight, the cost of a ticket was €320. And then the economy was 85. Altogether, it cost this amount. So we're now going to use X and Y in a different way. We're going to say, well, if we've got 320 lots of X and we add to this 85 lots of Y, well, our answer is going to be 14970. So all you need to do is form 2 equations. Now C, all you would need to do now is simultaneously solve. But a lot of you didn't manage to put an answer here, so you automatically lost out on 2 marks because you couldn't do this 1 mark question. So for C, we're looking for this as our answer. X equals 8 and Y equals 146. But how do you put this in your calculator? So we've done this quite a lot in lessons, and we need to go to the simultaneous mode. So we're going to go into apps, I believe. I'm looking for Polysmith. Polysmith is here. I'm going to click enter. We've done this lots and lots. So press any random button. We want to simultaneously solve. And the reason why we want to simultaneously solve is because we've got 2 equations involving X and Y, and we need to work out what they are. We're going to press next. And it looks like I've got a slight problem here. So I'm going to go back to the original menu. So I'm going to go into apps. And rather than simultaneous equation solver help, I need to go into the simultaneous equation solver. So I need to go back up to number 2. There are 2 equations, 1, 2. There are 2 unknowns, X and Y. So now I press next. Then I enter my values into the matrix. So we've got 1x, 1y is 154. So we're going to write in 1. We're going to write in 1. And we're going to say that this is equal to 154. Similarly, we need to do the same for the next equations. We've got 320x this time, so there's no way this would be very easy to solve algebraically. And then we've got 85y. And then this is going to be equal to 14,970. And then we click enter. And then we can see 11154, 320, 85, 14970. Make sure you press enter. Now we want to solve. So solve is the far right, so we press this button. And there we go, there's our solution. x1 is 8, x2 is 146. So rather than writing x2 and x1, we write it as we expected, that x is going to be equal to 8 and y is equal to 146. So when looking at the previous equations, we can see that if we put in x is 8 and y is 146, both of the equations would work. Now, what we need to do now is use this bit of information, which I'm going to highlight in green, and compare it to this bit of information here in green. Some of you had a go at this, but you weren't fantastic. Some of you got full marks, so well done. What I'm going to do for percentage error, I told you about this equation. It's difference divided by 100, divided by original, and then you need to times by 100. So the difference between the original and the estimated. So I'm going to write down 14970 I'm going to divide it by